Hello and welcome to the Sporting Tribune today on KIRN 670 AM in Southern California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Joined by the crew, we got Elam, we got Beav, we got Mykell, we got Grant. We got a lot to get into. We had game one of the NBA Finals, previewing game two coming up. The New York Knicks go into San Antonio. They continue their amazing winning streak. It is amazing that this team has not lost since the NFL draft. Like, when you just think about how long that was, how long the draft was. But listen, loved the guys' show post game, but just because new crew tonight and I wasn't a part of it, I guess I do want to get into a great game one. I think it's going to be a great series. Grant, I will start with you, my friend. Again, I predict the Spurs in 6. Maybe 7. I did think it would be a good series. Interesting subplot here. The last couple of times a road team won game one of the finals, they went on to lose. The last time a road team won game one of the finals and went on to win was the Pistons against the Los Angeles Lakers back in I think that was 2004. But anyways, Grant, what were your thoughts on game one of the NBA Finals?
Yeah, it's good to have Elam, Mykell, and Beav back on. Good to have you back on, Arash. I think game one, we always talk about these feel-out games. We always talk about, just throw game one out the window. It doesn't matter. I don't think we can do that with this one. I think, seriously, we got to consider how good the Knicks played, how they matched up, the physicality of that Knicks team. I think they're just bigger. They just have bigger players. OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges is long. Beav loves to call him Big Body Brunson. Like, I know he's short in terms of NBA, but Big Body Brunson was awesome. First half, obviously got the 2 injuries, but second half was just fantastic. He found his matchups. He found his spots on the floor. He got to him with ease against a very good Spurs defense, as we've seen throughout the course of the regular season and in the playoffs. But, bottom line here, and we were talking about this behind the scenes before we went live, is Wemby has to be better down the stretch. I mean, those last 4 or 5 minutes alone, we can go through the course of the whole game. Those last 5 minutes, that was one of the most unclutch performances that I've seen in a finals game. He hit the side of the backboard twice, one on a layup and one on a three-pointer within a span of 10 seconds with the game on the line. And the Spurs had a lead. They came all the way back to actually take back the lead in the fourth quarter, and then they gave that up because Brunson was just so fantastic. But Karl-Anthony Towns, I felt like, did a very, very good job. I did not expect that from him defensively, even though he has been pretty good defensively this whole playoffs. But that is a gutsy win by a Knicks team that initially I thought they weren't going to have Brunson the rest of the game, or at least he was going to be very, very hampered for the rest of the game because of that knee injury. But with how tough that guy is, they were down 14 points at one point, and they came back and won the game for their 12th straight win. I know we keep talking about this, but it's seriously one of the better runs I've ever seen in playoff history. I don't know how long this goes. I had Knicks in 7. I think that's what it is going to be, but I do really believe that Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby and Karl-Anthony Towns, they're going to have to play even better in game 2, because I think the Spurs are going to come out with a lot more energy. But I have the Spurs winning game 2. I think that if the Spurs don't win game 2, guys, that is a huge blow. I don't even think they can overcome an 0-2 deficit going back to the Garden. Yep. So, awesome first game, though. It was really, really fun to watch.
Guys. Here's the thing, really, really quick, Beav, and I want to get to you next, and I definitely want to get the entire crew's thoughts. Great point there, and again, I'm going to bring it to the Stanley Cup final just because Vegas went into Carolina. They took game 1. They had a 2-0 lead in the third period of game 2, and I'm like, man, can you imagine Vegas taking a 2-0 lead, coming back to Vegas? What does Carolina do? They tie it, and they take the lead, and they win the game in OT. Now it's a totally different series. It's 1-1. Vegas has the advantage technically, but to your point, Grant, not when you win game 1, you can get a little bit greedy in game 2. But I will say this one thing about the Spurs, and then I want Beav, your thoughts and the rest of the crew. The one thing that the Spurs have done extremely well during this entire postseason and really during this season is that when they've lost a game, the way that they have responded has been extremely impressive. Not only do they win, guys, they win in blowout fashion. I'm not saying that they're going to blow out the Knicks. And by the way, if the Knicks lose for the first time since like April 23rd or something, that would be quite the story. I don't think they're going to sweep the Spurs. I do think the Spurs are going to respond in game two. But B, this is a must-win game.
It is a must-win game for Big Body Brunson and the boys. You got to make sure you secure it and take home a 2-0 victory heading back to the Garden. But I really want to focus on one body, and Mykell usually say this a lot. This is for you, De'Aaron Fox, because you stink. It's no way that you are the unk on the team and you're not performing at a high level. Now, granted, this might be your first time in the finals, but you have to show up as the veteran on the court. You can't just necessarily be getting outplayed by Harper and the young kid and the young boys on the team in regards to you being a more seasoned vet. And on top of that, I don't like to get into people's pockets, but I got to go there. You are being paid the big bucks. It's time for you to show up. Yes, we can rely on Victor all day and all night. And I will say this about Victor. Stop using that weak spin move. Karl-Anthony Towns is not falling for that spin move at all. All it's resulting into is fall away shots, and you're not Dirk Nowitzki. So he has to stop that. Be forceful, get in there, because you're facing a New York Knicks team, which I call them the one for all type of group. They're friends. They grew up together. They know how each other work. Shout out to Josh Hart and Big Body Brunson. They are very close. If you caught the cup matchup,
Nova boys.
the Nova boys. And if you look at this team, it looks like a team that is well put together in how they operate. If one person is not operating, somebody else pick up the slack. And with the Spurs, you can see it's not only just the team that's acting young, the coach is also acting young. It's a few times where he needs to call timeout and regroup his team. So I would say this. Game one, I know they was in a slug or not match with the OKC. We're going to shake it off. They should be able to tie it up in game two.
Hey, shout out to our guy, John, because I told him before this series, look out for the coaching matchup. You know what I'm saying? Mike Brown has coached in the finals. Yes, they got swept by, the Spurs, but he was there, right? And Mitch Johnson is a young coach, still learning on the job. And some of it you seen, okay, Mike Brown is the veteran coach. You saw the advantage that gave the Knicks. But when Arash, you asked, like, what did this game remind you of? It reminded me of the regular season matchups when they played each other, right? Where the Knicks were just a more physical team. They made Wemby more of a jump shooter, so they made the game much tougher. So I'm happy that Beav mentioned De'Aaron Fox. He's a guy. The Knicks closed on an 11-0 run to win this game. You want your guy that's supposed to be the closer. I believe he was the first ever Clutch Player of the Year award winner, if I get that right. But he hasn't been clutch so far, and you can see the effect that's having on the team. If you're hoping this is not Victor O'Neal, where Wemby is just going to dominate inside and make you pay, right? He is a guy that does shoot jumpers and likes to shoot step back threes, right? I've been saying it all playoffs. When he gets inside, he's tough. But if he shoots 9 threes, if you are the team playing against him, you're like, hey, we win, because we want him away from the paint. And he fell right into the trap that the Knicks had set for him. But it's just the Knicks taking advantage of this matchup. They beat them 2 times in the season in their 3 matchups, and just they might be the team of destiny, Arash. Like I don't know. Like sometimes you see a team and you're just like, I think it's their year. It might just finally be the Knicks year, and I'm ready for it, because we're probably going to find out about the first ever earthquake in New York. It's going to be massive, because those fans are not going to know how to act. It's going to look like the Avengers movie, right? When they were in New York City and everything was mayhem. That's what you can expect, and I think the Knicks are feeling good about themselves.
This is how I know Mykell doesn't pay attention to anything that happens in the world. New York has definitely had earthquakes before. Listen,
but
as much ado about nothing. Do you guys know what the Spurs record this year is following a loss? They're 2-1. Listen, This team plays best when their back is against the wall. They play their best basketball when they're desperate. You have two contrasting styles right here. New York is a team of chemistry. They get along, they joke, they actually like one another. San Antonio, I'm not saying they don't like each other, but these are a pack of wild hyenas. They are young pups who don't realize what they're facing. But guess what? I already called that the Spurs are going to lose one. They're going to win game 2. I am calling out Victor Wembanyama. This is a milk carton.
Where's he at?
Put Victor's face on there because Mykell said he's not Victor O'Neal. He was playing like Victor Nowitzki when he needs to play more like Victor Garnett, Victor Olajuwon, or Victor Duncan. Get in the post. You cannot shy away from contact. This is the NBA Finals. They are not calling those ticky-tack fouls that you would get in the regular season. This right here is when you got to let them drop, all right? This is puberty right here. Let them drop, let them hang, and it's time to bang, Vic.
Yeah.
Listen, right
Let
now,
him know.
I guarantee you what is happening is that Victor Wembanyama, he's calling his Shaolin monks. He's preparing, he's training. Do you guys know the last marquee center that trained martial arts? Do you guys know who that is?
Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar. And I guarantee you guys know where Shaolin is, right? It's not in China. It's in New York. And guess what? Victor Wembanyama is getting ready to go into Shaolin, New York, Madison Square Garden after a game 2 victory and show you guys why this is the Wembanyama.
Hopefully one of those monks is the last airbender because they're going to need it, man. This Knicks team just looked poised to have some damage in game 2. Like, I expect the Knicks to, like, we saw the Spurs last series versus the Thunder after they stole game 1. Game 2, they kind of were like, all right, we got one. This Knicks team is like, no, we are not settling just for one. If we can get 2 and get back to New York up 2-0, the series may already be over. So I expect the Knicks to come out because they didn't really play well, right? Brunson shot 12 for 31. They missed a bunch of open threes. It was like, man, like the Knicks are about to lose this game just because they aren't playing a good basketball game. But to finish the way they did, like, man, if you're a Knicks fan, I might have to go out there with the Ninja Turtles and all of the New Yorkers out there and be ready for a parade, baby.
Hey,
but Mykell, real quick, Mykell, you touched on it. It was the way that they closed out the game. The way that they closed out the game, when the Spurs had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, and for the Knicks, that's the moment where they kind of shined. And again, you're talking about a team that's blown out teams during the course of this postseason run that they've had. They had a week off. That can go one of 2 ways. Sometimes, if you take a week off, you can get a little rusty. Or if you're used to blowing out teams, you're not sure what to do when you're down 10 points in the fourth quarter. But for them to close out the game on an 11-0 run or something along those lines, extremely impressive.
Yeah, it's vets. Like when you have vets who are ready to go and get a championship. I can't remember any young guys on this team. It's a lot of vets who like, hey, we have this golden opportunity. It's time to take advantage. And I just think the Knicks are built for that. This is finally the year. That must mean the Cowboys might make it to the Super Bowl this year. This is happening. But the Knicks have a chance
for a second. Now you just roasting marshmallows over a campfire.
They had their Willis Reed moment. Once Jalen Brunson left, everybody felt some type of way, like, oh, he may be done. What is going on? And he comes back and he finds a way to win this game. So look, I'm telling you, I might get you guys all New York Knicks jerseys and shirts so we can be ready when they start to celebrate.
Clipper fans have no beef with
I will say this. One player that we did not mention that a spotlight should be on for his game 1 performance is OG. OG was taking care of business when he played against Victor. And it was a stat out there when Victor is getting bodied by Hart and OG, he has a tough time. And you were seeing that live in effect. And it's something about what Mike Brown is doing with my guy, Big Body Brunson, in the fourth quarter. He takes over. He scored most of his points in the fourth quarter. And for the Spurs not to see that train coming from a mile away, you can see they was literally put on notice that night. Even though Brick Body Brunson lost his ankle, lost his knee, probably lost an eye in between, and then cussed out fans at the end for talking trash. He's not going to stop. It's going to be relentless. And if the Spurs want to take home an NBA championship, you have to keep Big Body Brunson in check and keep Josh Hart off the glass, please.
Yeah.
And see, you
baby Lakers.
You mentioned the Laker great Josh Hart, right? I call him Cupid because the dude got a big heart. You know what I'm saying? The dude plays above his stature. He plays above his skill level. The dude is all effort. Just imagine if Dennis Rodman actually could play like he could score. That's who Josh Hart is. He doesn't have the rebounding prowess. Hold on, I don't want you guys blowing up my mention. But in terms of effort, Josh Hart is going to do whatever is needed and necessary to win that game. If you need him to score 20, he can do that. If you need him to grab 14 rebounds, he'll do that. If you need him to lock up and turn into Sing or what's the jail in New York? Whatever it is, Rikers. Josh Hart will put you on Rikers Island, in terms of locking you up. I think he is the key. The Knicks are only go so far as Josh Hart pushes them. Brunson is going to get all the accolades. If they win the finals, he'll be the finals MVP. But again, I'm looking at who Mykell calls Groot. He's got to go in, Victor Wembanyama, and say, hey, I am Groot.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys this. Speaking of Lakers greats, head coach Mike Brown has coached his tail off this entire postseason. He did a great job with the Sacramento Kings. It wasn't his fault what happened down there. And what he has done, he was the right coach at the right time. Again, he takes over a team that got to the conference finals a year ago, but he has pushed every button correctly. Grant, I'll start with you. Just what have you seen from Mike Brown? And again, if he wins a championship, if he leads the Knicks to their first championship since 1971, what an amazing thing for him, because again, he led the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron, of course, but he got them to the finals. I mean, this guy does not get enough due. He is a great head coach.
Yeah, I don't even know why. I do know why the Sacramento Kings fired him, because they don't know how to run an organization. But he was absolutely fantastic when he got the Kings to their playoff run, their first playoffs in 17, whatever it was, back in 2023. They actually made the play in the next year, and they fired him. I mean, it wasn't really his fault. I mean, it was kind of just the roster. It wasn't even built to compete. Yeah. And so he takes those years off, right? And a lot of people, listen, Mike Brown wasn't even the first option for the Knicks. He was actually, I think, the third or fourth option. They were going through a multitude of people before they even got to Mike Brown. So maybe he took that personally. We probably never will hear about that until after his career. But I think with Mike Brown, first of all, he did a fantastic job in game one, just managing different guys' minutes. He brought in Shamet. He knew that Clarkson wasn't going to be a big contributor. He knew that Deuce McBride, even though Deuce McBride's 6 feet tall even, that he's a big body and he could give them something. So he just played his hand really right with the matchups too. They actually put Cat on Wemby, where I feel like Wemby was on Josh Hart too on the other end, just trying not to disrupt anything on the perimeter, trying to stay towards the rim. And I just really feel like in game one, you saw the expertise, you saw the veteran experience by a Mike Brown, where Mitch Johnson is a fantastic head coach. I'm not taking anything away from Mitch Johnson, but I felt like the Spurs were sped up a little bit in terms of their pace. They had some turnovers. You saw Victor at the end of the game. He dribbled a ball off of his leg. It was just like they were trying to be too quick, and the Knicks were just calculated. Everything that they did was laser focused. And again, I'm not saying that the Spurs are out of this already. I'm just saying, you can tell that in a game one of the NBA Finals where everyone's heart rates are up, everyone's focus is on certain things, the Knicks were the more poised basketball team because, I think Elam said it earlier. Do you guys see any young guys in their rotation? There's literally no young guys in their rotation that are probably like 22, 23 like the Spurs. So Mike Brown has just been fantastic for this Knicks team in the regular season. He managed minutes, unlike Tibbs. Their defense is actually better than when it was with Tibbs, which is insane. He's getting the most out of these guys. I am so happy for Mike Brown, and I know that the series isn't done yet, but he's done just such an awesome job, and I think that the players are buying into his system too, which is a big thing.
Arash,
Mike Brown,
can I add this?
Mike Brown is the poster child of failing forward.
Yes,
like
sir.
a lot of people view failing as a roadblock, as a detriment to success. Mike Brown has utilized that as fuel. You know, you start off coaching LeBron James, that doesn't work out. You go to the Lakers, you end up coaching Kobe. Okay, that doesn't work out. All right, boom. Now you go to Golden State. You're an assistant. You win some rings.
Titles.
You learn some things. You go to Sacramento. Nobody can win in Sacramento. But now, here it is. You utilize the time that you have spent coaching some of the greats, drawing and utilizing those experiences, and you're able to impart all that knowledge on a team, on a city that is hungry for this moment. You got to give Mike Brown his flowers. Failing forward is the operative phrase of the day. That's who Mike Brown is. That's where the Knicks have been for really the past decade. They've been on the cusp. They've been knocking on the door. And right now, they are prime. You still got to win 3 more. The series isn't over.
Yeah, not
3
even
more,
close.
I think they could do it.
And that's why, like, I hate to say this, Grant, you know, because I got love for you. But remember early in the playoffs, I talked about James Harden, and I said that stink of the Clippers was still on him.
Man.
That greatness of the Lakers still sit on Josh Hart and on Mike Brown.
Man. They gave
and
up
you're
on
starting
him.
to see that in the playoffs.
They
You're
gave
starting
up
to
on
see
him.
that. Like, if you squint your eyes, you start to see purple and gold on Josh Hart and on Mike Brown, and they're 2 crucial guys
Didn't
to
the
this
Lakers
run.
push Mike Brown out of town?
He
will
wore the suit there with the Lakers. So
did Lonzo.
telling
Well,
you,
look, he's doing podcasts talking
that
about Cleveland. Where's the Lake
we're not
Arenas
talking
on
about
him?
If you
we're
squint
talking
your
about
eyes
the
hard-
Lakers.
If you squint your eyes hard enough, you'll see a resemblance to Tim Duncan in a bank shot, the backboard, sending the Lakers home in the playoff game. So I don't want to go
How
too
about D
far about
Fish
that.
0.4? That was sick.
I just want y'all to hold on, but I will say this: something about Mike Brown that a lot of people are not noticing. From his time spent with the Golden State Warriors and the philosophy that he's using with Big Body Brunson is that in the fourth quarter, that's when Golden State used Steph Curry at the highest of his peak. If you notice, when they took home the championship, Steph Curry was going crazy in the fourth quarter. Of course, you might have Clay pitching every now and again, but it really was the Curry show when she was cooking everybody. And that same formula is now being used with Brunson. That's why he's exploiting every single thing you can think of in the fourth quarter, because he's saving them. He's sending them during the third a little bit. He's bringing them later. He's bringing them right in the fourth. And you got to think about it. As a young team like the Spurs, Castle has to stay out of foul trouble to keep Brunson in check.
Yep.
Harper has to stay out of foul trouble to keep him in check. And then Johnson needs to get off the court immediately because he ain't doing nothing to contribute to nothing. I don't even know how he won the 6-man year of the war. He just ain't doing nothing. He can go back to his form and go chill.
And B, we didn't.
Yeah.
You
Let me set us to break real quick. When we come back, we will close out this conversation on listen, game 1 of the finals, previewing game 2. But I really want to get this crew's thoughts, especially Elam, on the blockbuster trade that happened with the Rams. So we'll talk about that when we come back right here on KIRN 670 AM in Southern California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
It's all coming together. Piles of statistics, pages of box scores, years of wisdom right here if I could just find my pen.
What's up?
Oh, I'm just compiling all the top sports scores, news, and odds so I can make the very best bets.
Oh, me too. And done.
What?
BetOnline.ag, the best online betting site.
BetOnline.ag.
A little easier than what you got going on here.
Thanks. Oh.
today and use promo code BETNOW to receive your 50% welcome bonus at betonline.ag.
All right, welcome back to the Sporting Tribune today on KIRN 670 AM in Southern California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network. Just to close out our thoughts on Game 2, now going into Game 2 of the NBA Finals. My pre-series prediction, and I'm not going to sway from it, I got Spurs in 7. And I'll just get the Crew's thoughts before we switch gears to the Rams. Start with you, Mykell, and get the rest of the Crew's thought. Did Game 1 change your pick? Who was your pre-series pick, and who do you think wins this series?
Before the series even begun, I had the Knicks in 6. I just believe that, what they showed in the regular season in this matchup, and, a lot of sports comes down to matchups, and I think that they match up well. We didn't even mention and shout out the big bodega, right? Karl-Anthony Towns, who had a really good game. People thought he would be abused by Wemby in that game, but he actually played defense and, was able to put up 18 points, 12 rebounds. So he's a guy that I expect to continue to play well. So that's why I picked the Knicks. I believe that the youth will finally catch up to the Spurs. Remember, when LeBron made the finals, and when he was 22 years old, he didn't win in his first finals, and I expect the same for Victor Wembanyama. But if he gets to 7, it's going to be scary, but I don't even think it gets there. I think the Knicks win in 6.
Grant, your thought, and let's get the rest of the Crew's thoughts on, who are you picking in the NBA Finals?
I got the Knicks in 7. I just feel like the Knicks. I think the Knicks are the better basketball team. I think that that 11-game run going into the finals was not a fluke. I try to tell everybody this. I know John came on here and acted like the Cavs are going to beat the Knicks in 5 games. I can't even believe he said that with James Harden on the team. But I just feel like it wasn't a fluke. Like, they were playing such awesome connected basketball on both ends. I mean, they were playing great defense. And I know, it was the Sixers, Hawks, and Cavs, but, when you play good basketball and you watch the game, I don't care who you're playing, they were playing awesome basketball. They would have beat, I think, anybody in the Eastern Conference. Even if the Celtics were fully healthy, I think they would have beat them. Now, it probably wouldn't have been a sweep. They probably would have won in 6 or 7, but I really believe that this Knicks team is really solid. They after that meeting, when they're down 2-1 to the Hawks, they had a meeting, and from that point on, whatever they said in there, something clicked where it's like they knew exactly where they were on the floor. They knew exactly how to play defense. They knew how to switch. They knew which matchups to use in which spots. They knew their roles. And that carried through 3 rounds of basketball. I'm not dismissing 3 full rounds of postseason basketball just because they're in the Eastern Conference. I know the Spurs are fantastic. They just dethroned the defending champions. But this Knicks team, I feel like there's a certain kind of factor that you have to factor in here is the hunger. They took their lumps. They lost in the conference finals. They lost in the conference semifinals. They don't want that feeling again. They want to bring home a title for that city, and they see how energized that city is, and I think that it helps them. Even when they're on the road. I mean, it was 25%, maybe more Knicks fans in San Antonio. That matters. So I just think this Knicks team, like Mykell said earlier, it might be a team of destiny, but that does not mean that this Spurs team is going quietly. I think this is going to be one of the greatest finals that we've had in the past decade.
You know what's funny? Money is that you actually know ball, because I said this on the Misfits, and Mykell looked at me like I had a horn growing out of my forehead.
Oh.
I said when this series was over, it would be an all-time great. I said it would be a top 10 all-time finals, and I stand by it. Listen, my heart wants New York to win because I love the fans' reaction. I love the pandemonium. I honestly think that Knicks fans are the best fan base in terms of creating a home court advantage. Barring any sport. They cheer like they're in Europe somewhere at a soccer game, at a football match, excuse me. But I think this Spurs team, they play their best ball when they're desperate. When their backs are against the wall, they win. Now, having said that, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this series is going to be decided by one thing. No, it's not 3-point shooting. No, it's not efficiency. It's the team that makes the most mid-range shots. Every NBA Finals, I say the mid-range is the championship shot because it is the shot you can get to and you can get all game, every game. Game 1, New York made more mid-ranges. Game 2, it's up in the air, but I guarantee you, when it's all said and done, whoever is hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy, they will have made the most mid-range shots.
I would say Game 6 is being taken by the New York Knicks and Charles Oakley, because I definitely want to see Charles Oakley standing next to James Dolan somewhere, somehow, or standing next to Patrick Ewing, because you know that relationship is not doing good. But I just see a team. I see a team that's well put together, and what I mean by well put together, it's a team that's built on family. And then that family oriented that the Knicks is showing between Brunson, between Hart, between Bridges, between OG, and even Cat, I feel like they're just going to seal the deal. And I said this before, right? John called me crazy. The NBA, I would say it loud and clear, the NBA needs the New York Knicks to win the championship. I don't care what nobody says. They need it. You want to know why? Because like Mykell was saying, an earthquake is going to take place. The Angels might win the World Series in the same city.
Hey, don't say that. Don't say that. You're gonna get too excited.
I'm just saying it would be so big for the NBA because you don't want to give Victor his first NBA so easy. He has to work for it. I like to see I like to see him on the verge of losing, coming back and raising hell the next year versus he getting his first year out the gate. And with the Knicks, they've been starving for so long, right? New York need this. NBA need this. As much as the NBA might not like the Knicks, I definitely want to see them fans outside burning the garden down to the ground and rebuild it again.
Nah, Beav, like you got this one wrong. What the NBA needs is better narratives. And this series is going to give the NBA that regardless of who wins. New York wins, okay, not since Willis Reed. I said Willis Reed, stay off the weed. Not since Willis Reed, came out the tunnel. Has New York been at such a fever pitch? Personally, I'd find somebody in the Willis Reed family, have them put on a jersey and lead the Knicks out of the tunnel. That would send that complete stadium bonkers. Pandemonium. Daughter, grandchild, somebody associated with Willis Reed, they'd get it. But
and just imagine, E, we're going to get a possible Knicks parade and then a Jay-Z concert the month after. It might be the summer of New York, man. I hope you guys are ready. Jay-Z's going to be performing 30 years since Reasonable Doubt. So now if you have the Knicks win leading to Jay-Z, it's going to be crazy.
Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, and then he's doing the last out.
The NBA needs narratives. Michael Jordan was and Shea, they won their first title in their first trip. Victor Wembanyama, he's poised. There's so much, discussion surrounding him about can he be the best ever? Can he be the most dominant? If Victor wins, the comparisons to Michael Jordan, not LeBron James, are going to start. They're going to grow. And personally, I'm here for it.
Me too.
Well, I would say this: it's not going to transpire because, again, it's better to have a part 2 to a story that's incomplete versus you give the person the championship right away. Like everyone seeing SGA get that championship and that ship sailed so quick with OKC to where people say, "I'm tired of this kid."
Tired already.
But
it's going to be the summer of New York, guys. It's the summer of New York.
No, because listen, Aaron Judge already has a rib fracture. The Yankees aren't doing anything this year. Let's relax.
That's the fall. That's October.
They're not doing anything.
The Yankees aren't doing anything because the Dodgers are getting ready to three-peat. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like, nobody but the Dodgers are winning the World Series this year.
When the Dodgers win, Brooklyn win.
Yeah,
speaking of Los Angeles teams that are favored to win a championship, now that we have a new crew, and especially Elam, you have a very special relationship with the Rams defensive players, defensive linemen in particular. Wanted to get your thoughts. Actually, I want you, if you could, set the scene where you were when you found out that the Rams had completed this blockbuster trade of Jared Verse, a first, second, and third, for Myles Garrett. Where were you? Paint the picture and your thoughts on the trade.
So it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday morning. Or was it Monday?
It was on Monday,
ready.
and the press conference was Tuesday.
Monday.
Yeah.
It's Monday morning. I'm getting ready to go to my 9 to 5 here at the LA County, and I get in my car. ESPN radio is on. I hear Saquon Barkley talking, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Jared Verse gets to go home. He's from Ohio, and the Browns have a great one." And I'm like, "Hold on, what?" And I turn up the volume. Like, I know my guy is like, he didn't demand a trade without like hitting me up. Like, come on, nephew. And I hear Saquon Barkley say, "And Los Angeles gets Myles Garrett." My mouth dropped. I thought I was like, I didn't know if I was in another timeline. I was in a Marvel episode or what. I look at my phone. Adam Schefter had just tweeted it out 4 minutes prior. I said, no effing way that this just happened. As a beat writer for the Rams, I am super ecstatic because I'm telling you right now, the only thing that's going to stop the Rams are injuries. That's it. Particularly Matthew Stafford's back. But as a fan of another team in the division, I absolutely hate it. I detest it. Like, Les Snead is a magician. It's F them picks part due. And you can go check out the article that I wrote on the Sporting Tribune. Listen.
Highly recommend.
This team, I was thinking, how would this rendition of the Rams defense fare against the greatest show on turf? In all honesty, I think I'd have to give this defense, particularly if Aaron Donald comes back, the nod. Like, who do you block? You have now 3 players and potentially 4 that consistently win, that not only just win, but beat double teams. Kobe Turner was 4th amongst defensive tackles. Braden Fisk was 14th. Myles Garrett was 2nd. And if you talking about putting Aaron Donald on this line, I will personally dig up David Stern and tell him that he has to revoke all the moves because this is not fair. Now listen, if you are a Rams fan,
please don't do that.
Please show up and show out. Do not sell your tickets because this team right here is primed and poised for a historic run. Not only did they win the Super Bowl the first time SoFi Stadium held the Super Bowl, but I kind of want to guarantee it's all contingent upon Matthew Stafford's back. I just don't see any team beating the Rams like at all. Like if they wanted to go 17-0 and run through the playoffs, they will. Now, once they lock up the number 1 seed in the NFC, Sean McVay is going to sit players. But guess what? There's so many young players. You guys don't even know about Kenyatta Munfield.
Oh, yeah.
True Edwards. Somebody who was on the practice squad last year.
Stewart.
Desjuan Johnson, who does not get any run, but every time he does, he flashes on tape. Listen Jordan Whittington, Xavier Smith.
Yeah.
There are so many players. Now, if Kyron and Blake can shore up their fumble woes.
Jarquez too.
Listen, you got the two of the top 5 tackles, offensive tackles in the game.
Good line.
In terms of their win rate and blocking with Alaric Jackson and Warren McClendon, a name that you guys may not know. He's not a household name. Then you got Steve Avila and Big K Dot. The only position that you can turn to on that offensive line and really on the offense is the center. But guess what? There are ways to scheme that up because you got Sean McVay. Listen, I know I keep saying, listen, I am super excited for this year. I'm excited for training camp to start because I got to get out there, touch grass, see grass. I'm going to try to talk to Sean and see if I can, be a gunner or something. Like, I got to get a ring because this is the closest that I will get to a Super Bowl run right here.
Wait, I'm going to clip that and play that as my alarm clock in the morning. I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now. That wall back there, I'm ready to run right through it.
All right, Grant. I don't want to be.
Listen, you're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes' knee brace, aren't you?
No. I don't want to be Debbie Downer. But could something be too good to be true, right? Like we've seen in the history of the NFL where teams, like the Eagles many years ago, they added all of these pieces to where you were like, yo, this team has everything. Here comes a Super Bowl. Let's see what's going to happen. Right. I seen it with the Chiefs where you're like, yo, the Chiefs are going to win 3 straight Super Bowls. This is going to be crazy. It is set up for almost isn't good enough. Almost isn't good enough. Right. So you want to see this team. So I'm like, I love the moves, but we want to take it easy because there may be a team like the Seahawks that come out of nowhere that plays out of their mind and try to make something happen. And injuries does happen. So I just don't, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but let's wait until it happens. Let's wait until football is being played. The Eagles are done. The wings have been clipped, right? But it's about, what the Rams are going to do. They should be the favorites, right? It's kind of like when that move happened, how I felt was like Luka being traded to the Lakers. It's like, it's no way this is real. What is going on? Did they really let this happen? Are they the Dodgers now to where they just get everything? But the Rams, let's kind of take it easy. Let's see some football be played before we completely lose our minds like Eric is over there. And you wouldn't even think he's a 49er fan with the way that he's acting. That man, it's crazy.
Talk that talk.
I will say, let me tag myself in regards to the Rams. I would say as a former offensive lineman, that center position is very vital when it comes to the offensive line. And you can sit here and say all day that you have the top tackles, you have top guards, but if I can blow up that center, you best believe that snap count is going to be very, very hard to remember. So just remember when you look across the street and you see the Philadelphia Eagles, there is somebody that can rattle that center by the name of Jalen Carter or Davis. So I'm just keeping it a bean in regards to that odds. But I will say this. When it comes to the Rams, we knew outside of the additions of the defensive ends and things like that and Myles, the only thing that the Rams were missing was defensive backs. And they basically shored that up with securing the trade from the Chiefs. That was the main thing. Everything else is extra, right? And now we could just look at it as just overfilling their cup. Now, the players get dressed like other players, right? The man puts his pants on like I put my pants on. So now what's it going to really boil down to is schemes, right? You have to out scheme Sean McVay to win the game. I don't care how great the Rams can be on paper. I don't care how many players can be on the field. You still have 2 running backs that have fumble issues, and I love them dearly, right? That can easily turn a game. You can have top corners, but some corners are better in man coverage than press coverage, which they can be exploited on that end. McDuffie is not Reeves Island. He's been exploited a lot of times when he played for the Chiefs. And then Quentin Lake, he can definitely be exposed as he's going through what he's going through every now and again. But if you're looking at this, yes, the name of the game is to get to the quarterback, which Myles can do, which also Young can do. If they can do that, that takes the pressure off the linebackers and the defensive backs. But to correct that, right? If I throw short, immediate routes and get in y'all linebackers' face, because that is also an issue
the weakness
on the Rams.
You better preach. You better preach, Beav.
I'm preaching because football is my thing, and I'm getting dressed and making sure it comes true. The linebackers is now the new weakness to the Rams. And if I throw short, immediate routes in the middle of the field, you are going to have to back down that rush. And once you back down that rush, now it's a whole different ball game. But Rams fans, I want you to stay and be very happy. I will see you in the NFC Championship. Shout out to the
I don't know about all that. I don't know, but
Fly,
I was going to ask.
The Eagles, unfortunately, are not going to the NFC Championship. Like that is not happening.
Wait,
but
Elam,
like Beav said, you know, the linebacking core. Okay, yeah, it's you can circle it. There are things that can be had, but you have to commit to running a ton of option routes against linebackers because you can always put Trent McDuffie in a slot. I think he's a better slot corner than he is on the outside. And short timing routes, guess what? Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie excel at guarding short developing routes. So if that's your game plan, cool, not a problem. You got to try to get Nate Lamon in coverage. You got to get Omar Space in coverage. But guess what? You get Nate Lamon in coverage, he's trying to punch the ball out. He might not be able to cover, but as he's tackling, he's trying to deprive you of the ball. Again, schemes, all that other type of stuff. We can talk high level football and be you know I'm always gleaning from you. But I don't think that there are many coaches, let alone 5, that I can think out scheme Sean McVay, like when like pressure is on. Like things happen, turnovers happen, games have a wacky way of unfolding. But Sean McVay, Chris Shula, who will be a head coach next year, you know, calling the defense with that complement of just talent, like 1 through I will say 30 are some real difference maker. The other 23, you know, they're there to push guys. You know, they're there to give guys a spell. But 1 through 30, try to find me a better roster.
I will say this: to beat Sean McVay, it's the same thing that Mike Shanahan and them have to go through. You find coaches from their tree, which is going to implement their schemes. And if you find a coach, the Eagles actually have a coach from Sean McVay's tree, in which that offense he's going to try to imitate. So if you can imitate that offense, you have a better chance to
Jalen Hurts.
You got to have a quarterback to imitate it.
The Eagles are the Penguins this year. They aren't flying anywhere, guys. Let's move on.
I don't like to talk about injuries, but until I see that leg outside of that brace, I don't want to hear no Chiefs fans talking.
Hey, oh my goodness!
Take it easy.
Across conference beef. Wow.
Hey, listen. Hey, Tim was getting jumped, and he called the jumper. So here I am, jumpers.
Man,
LLC.
There's been a lot of Eagle slander the past 2 nights. Sheesh, we are cooking Philadelphia. Phillies fans, where you at?
Hey, stand back. I'm Jumpers LLC. I can take the whole crew tonight by myself.
I never had fried eagle before, but I'm gonna try it after one of those Rams wins.
Hey, first of all, man, I can't even slander the Chiefs because I don't want to go that route. But I will say this though: when I look at the Chiefs, I just see a bunch of receivers that is going to end up not on the field because they got off the field activities going at a high clip. So we got to think about that.
Let's close out on this because you guys brought up an interesting point. Again, we all know about Sean McVay. He is in that conversation for best coaches in the league. It's him and Andy Reid, right? 1, 2. The Rams have 2 future head coaches, and one former. Like, there's not been a lot talked about Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury is going to be an assistant head coach. He and Sean McVay go way back. He'll be helping on the offensive side of the ball. Chris Shula almost got a head coaching job. He will following this upcoming season. So you got Sean McVay with arguably, possibly one of the best staffs that he's had. He's had quite some great staff. So, so much to look forward to this upcoming season with the Rams. It's been a crazy week. We have a lot to get into next week, continuing with the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Finals. Thank you to the crew. That is all the time we have for today. So until then, stay safe and stay healthy.